Everybody is worried about their well-being, their appearance, the food they eat, etc. However, would you say you are focusing on the main organ in your body? It's similarly as essential to keep your cerebrum fit and sound for all intents and purposes to keep up with your heart or different organs solid. The mind is the main organ in our body, and injury to it can fundamentally affect your considerations, recollections, sensations, and different parts of your life. As indicated by researchers, a couple of way-of-life changes can work on your insight, envisioning power, and mental flexibility. The following are 10 mind-harming ways of behaving you ought to keep away from to work on your cerebrum's exhibition. 1. Inordinate sugar utilization. Extreme sugar utilization after some time disturbs our body's capacity to ingest proteins and supplements. This could prompt a condition known as hunger, which restrains mind development. Anyway, what causes this? It happens in light of the fact that our bodies need more supplements in their blood, and accordingly, they don't get an adequate number of supplements to our mind, which dials back its turn of events. 2. Deficient water consumption and missing breakfast. Many individuals decide to do without breakfast for various reasons, including weight reduction or time investment funds. It's conceivable that a couple of individuals know that skipping breakfast can hurt your cerebrum. Your body requires sustenance each day following a decent night's rest. By skipping breakfast, you are denying your mind of these crucial supplements. As per a few examinations, kids who have breakfast consistently improve in school. Low blood glucose levels come from skipping breakfast, which adversely affects cerebrum capability. Water makes up more than 80% of the cerebrum. To think quicker and concentrate better, the cerebrum requires sufficient water. Thus, it's important that you stay hydrated consistently. Drinking a lot of water will assist your body and mind with working all the more productively. 3. Absence of rest. Lack of sleep can cause different issues, including outrageous daytime tiredness, wretchedness, and cognitive decline. The hippocampus is the part of the mind that experiences an absence of rest. Indeed, even one evening of unfortunate rest can affect your mind's memorables capacity. New data. A few examinations have likewise shown that the mind just cleans itself of toxins during the profound rest cycle. Lack of sleep can make synapses pass on, bringing about unfortunate memory and capabilities. 4. Impacting your earphones. Neuroscientists from the College of Dallas found that being presented to clearly clamors could influence your mind's capacity to handle sound, and furthermore makes it almost certain for your cerebrum to battle much more to comprehend discourse sounds. It might likewise achieve debilitated memory and changes in temperaments and behavior. And this is one reason that cause memory-related conditions in more established grown-ups, sometime down the road. As such, incessant openness to noisy clamors can mind harm. Since the mind is being overtasked, it turns out to be difficult for it to stay aware of the day-to-day requests yet work at its best long into the future. While having clearly music appears to be engaging, you ought to attempt to lessen the times you pay attention to boisterous music or being in a spot with an uproarious commotion to safeguard the critical region of your cerebrum. 5. You don't move enough. The more you manage without standard action, the more likely you are to have dementia. You also will undoubtedly get diabetes, coronary disease, and hypertension, which may be generally associated with Alzheimer's. You don't have to start running significant distance races, a half hour in the nursery or an enthusiastic walk around the neighborhood will work. The huge thing is to get something like 150 minutes of moderate movement consistently. 6. Weighty smoking. At the point when a pregnant lady smokes, she forestalls the mental health of the child she's conveying, something that later on influences the baby. Smoking likewise makes your cerebrum shrivel, advances an irregularity of chemicals that are mind-controlled, and makes you 2 times as liable to experience the ill effects of dementia as the normal individual. Weighty smoking likewise burdens your memory. Assuming that you are a hotshot smoker, you ought to consider seeking treatment to assist you with conquering the disastrous propensity, or utilize other personal growth strategies like mindfulness, contemplation, subconscious prompts, and others that you feel might function admirably with you. 7. Negative thinking. Negative thinking is a penchant that can hurt your frontal cortex. Exactly when you're constantly stressed and fretful, it adversely influences your mental well-being. This can provoke issues like misery, anxiety, and even dementia. Honestly, some assessment shows that people who harp on the pessimistic have more amyloid and tau stores in their frontal cortex. These stores are an indispensable indication of Alzheimer's infection. Luckily, this is to some degree straightforward penchant to change. On the off chance that you actually want to keep your frontal cortex strong, guarantee you're thinking positive contemplations. Now and again, seeing a profound prosperity provider may be useful if you can't change your way of reasoning isolated. 8. Laying down with your head covered. Despite the fact that it might feel quite comfortable, laying down with a sweeping hung over your head might bring about an expansion in carbon dioxide consumption, and a diminishing in oxygen consumption. Oxygen is basic for the sound working of your cerebrum, and an absence of it can hurt your synapses. At this point, you're likely reasoning in the event that these are exercises you do consistently. Presently is the second to deal with your psyche and offer it the consideration it merits. That is precisely exact thing we really want to abstain from doing if we have any desire to be the most useful rendition of ourselves. Your mind will surely see the value in it. 9. You stay in obscurity to an extreme. In the event that you don't get sufficient regular light, you might get discouraged, and that can slow your mind. Research likewise shows that daylight helps keep your mind functioning admirably. 10. Limited mingling. Indeed, this one will frustrate most contemplative people, albeit not much. Remaining alone for a significant stretch may be neutralizing you more than you naturally suspect it accomplishes for you. It's obvious, people develop and get better with additional communications. The actual demonstration of cooperating with an individual includes the cerebrum, and lifts its capability simultaneously. At the point when you are addressing somebody, you need to think, reason, and interaction everything you are said so you can give great reactions. You need to recover a few data from your memory and use it in your conversations, and you likewise need to store new data that you get from the individual you are addressing for future advantages. At the point when you neglect to meet new individuals or converse with the nearby individuals you as of now have, you are missing out, and this can mind harm. Research has shown that making and effectively keeping up with informal organizations assists with keeping cognitive deterioration under control, and empowers you to be all the more intellectually sharp. 11. Loving the lounge chair excessively. The cerebrum is organized in a manner that possibly gets better when it's invested into effort. Think about it like a muscle. You should do preparing now so you can serious areas of strength for B. In this same manner, you ought to prepare your psyche by including it in a progression of undertakings during the day, some of which are genuinely difficult, so you inspire it to exceed all expectations, which brings about better execution and worked on mental capacities. For instance, when you are working, in the event that you are accustomed to concentrating for 30 minutes to 1 hour and afterward you enjoy some time off, you can take a stab at doing 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes 3 times each week. Then, when it turns out to be genuinely simple for you to make it happen, you make it a day-to-day thing. In the event that you stay inactive for a significant stretch, you will expose your brain to cognitive deterioration, which will, later on, influence your life and make it hard for you to be productive like others. Nonetheless, on the off chance that you push your psyche somewhat now and again, you will improve and use your maximum capacity.